my father said, priority is something you get, not something you take. So wherever you come and you think you have priority, still watch out, because priority is something that you receive, not something that you take. And so we have been brought up with this idea to give priority to others. Let them go first, you first, in almost everything. But they never taught us that there is one exception to this rule. And that is a very strong exception, because if we don't do that, we can't go forward. When you travel, especially by airplane, and they introduce the safety things, they say, when they have the oxygen mask, please put on your oxygen masks first before you help others. So there's one way of the exception, you first. In this me first. So why is me first important in some ways? Whenever me first has to do with bringing benefit and helping yourself and others, that is where this is an exception to the rule, you first. We grew up, and many of you may have your own family, your husband or your wife, your children, maybe grandchildren. And in your life, you play different roles. As the sister mentioned, the role of teacher, the role of mother, but there are many more. Yeah? Sometimes a mother even has to play the role of a nurse or a chauffeur or a teacher too, helping their kids. So we have been playing many roles. Yeah, some of you play the roles of being a cook, or someone played the roles of being a cleaner. We all have played all those roles. And in our lives, some of us, maybe all of us, I don't know, might have experienced a role model for yourself. I had a teacher when I was in secondary school, and there was something in that teacher that touched me very much. And you know, we often forget what the teacher has said, but we will never forget what the teacher has done or how the teacher made me feel. That is where comes in working on myself. Even Michael Jackson sang, if you want to make this world a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change. So deep down, we all know that we have to work on ourselves. But we don't realize that we need to work on ourselves first. A few days ago, one of our very, very seniors, Didi Mohini, shared a story. She was sharing that she had to go, that is long ago, no? She had to go to a school to give a talk on values. And she accepted, she did, and it was nice. And then the headmaster came to her and said, "We had to ask you to do that because we cannot do that." And her reply was, "Why not?" And he said something very important. He said, "Because you live what you teach, and we don't." So they realize that the way they are acting, people won't believe them when they tell them certain things. There's a story of that about a pandit, and many of you might know that. But I also had certain experience. My husband and I were in the kitchen doing things together, and I was with Brahmakumaris. I already became a Brahmin, and we were doing things in the kitchen, and he did something or said something, and I don't remember exactly what it was, and I don't remember what my reaction was on that, but I must have said something. And he looked at me and he said, "Oh, is that what they teach you there?" At that moment, I realized how important it is to walk your talk in every role you do. So it's not only for the benefit of yourself, but people look at you. And as I already said, when we have a teacher, a good teacher, we might not remember everything the teacher said, but we will remember what the teacher did and how the teacher's behavior towards the children was. That is how we become role models. When people look up to us and have that feeling like, "I wish I could be like her. I wish I could be like him." It's something special in their approach, in their appearance, attracts us. Now, you all might know that in the Brahma Kumaris, we learn that I am not this body. Even this is a role. I am not Rita Kappel. I am that special soul that plays the role of Rita Kappel, using this body to play the role. And when we talk of me first in creating a better world, we're not talking about the role, we're talking about the soul. We used to say, "I have a soul, you have a soul, everyone has a soul." But something changed when I came to Brahma Kumaris, when I learned, no, it's the other way around. I am a soul, I have a body, and all the beautiful things that we have inside of us are part of me, the soul. the virtues, the powers, the way we interact with others has to do with me, the souls. And religions teach us. They teach us what you don't want to happen with you, don't do that to others. It teaches us treat them the way you want to be treated. Because what you sow is what you will reap. But they never teach us how to really deeply work on ourselves. Excuse me. They don't really teach us how to work and why to work on ourselves. And this idea of looking up to role models is something we really need to deeply, deeply think about. When I change, people will look at me and they will see the good things. They will remember the way you treat them, whether it is good or bad, whether we shout at them, praise them, or whatever. That is what they will remember. So they will have a role model to look up to and try to live the way that my role model is living. Yeah, religion also teaches love your neighbors. We're all brothers. But they don't teach us how we are all brothers. We are brothers as souls. And brothers, children of one Father, one God, interact with each other in a very loving way. We realize, no, when in your family someone defames your sister of your brother, how you will protect that one. Mothers would protect their children. It's a family. And that's why we need to love each other without exception. This is where we need to say me first. If I keep saying, you see how she behaves? You see how this one does this one does that? They have to change. They have to give me more respect. They have to listen to what I tell them. That means I'm waiting for them to change. But if I don't change, I will never, ever be strong enough to help others. Never be strong enough to be a role model, to be an inspiring factor in people's life. And sometimes we are, and we don't even realize. Remember, years ago, I was flying to Suriname, and on the plane, a very tall young man came towards me. And he said, "Hi, ma'am, do you remember me?" I looked at him. The face was somewhere familiar, but exactly who or what, I didn't remember. He said, I was the naughtiest child you had in the classroom. And I looked at him again. And then he told me his name. And then I realized it was really a very naughty boy. And he looked at me and he said, you know, you are the one who inspired me to go to the physics Olympiad, Olympic physics things. And I looked at him and I thought, I don't remember that I did anything to inspire you to that. And later, I realized that once he had made a test and it was very bad again because he didn't prepare. And I wrote on top, Stephen, why don't you study? You have very, very good brains. You could have had 9 for this test. You could do very well. Why don't you study? And it was since then that he started to prepare himself. He was very bright. He was very bright. But when I wrote that down, because he had 3 or 4 for that test, I never had the idea that it would touch him so deeply that he would start to work on himself. When we start to appreciate others as they are and still inspire them to bring the best out of them, it comes naturally, and often we don't even realize that what we said made such a deep impact. And that can be positive, and it can also be negative. When we behave negative and people look at us and sarcastically say, look who's talking. There is a story about a mother who always told her children never to tell lies. And the children were brought up in that way. Don't tell lies, it's not okay. And there was an aunt, and that aunt was very, unpleasant in her way of handling people, etc. And once she was coming towards their house, and the mother saw her coming, and she told the child, I'm going to my room, tell her I'm not home. What did she teach the child? She's teaching the child never to tell lies. And now she's telling that same child to tell a lie. What will the child remember? I can tell lies when it's in my favor. We are not realizing that what we are doing can have very negative, influence on people. Sorry for sometimes, because my mother language, my mother tongue is not English. So sometimes I really have to think and ask myself, how do you translate that? But we are living a life in which we have choices. And one of the wonderful choices for us to make is stop looking at others. Stop waiting for others to change. Stop listening to what others are telling you if you don't agree with that. Don't change because of what others are telling you. Yeah, stop all those things, because when we compare ourselves with others, and that starts with looking at others, we start looking at others and we see what they have and I don't have, what I want and I don't have. And then there can be several ways to react on that for myself. One of the things is I get jealous, angry, and all those things are things that are not necessary for me. It doesn't help me to create a better future for myself and for others. So jealousy, and one of our senior daddies, Daddy Kashmani, once said this when she was in Australia. Jealousy, Daddy Janki often mentioned it too. Jealousy is something very severe. It can break you and it can break others. Because when you look at others with a feeling like, I want, because I don't have, this jealousy is eating up inside of you. But when we don't look at others with the vision of, why does she, why does he, why don't I, then this jealousy doesn't come up. When we look at others and we see beauty in others, because originally we were all beautiful. The world was beautiful, we were beautiful, and we were not dependent of others. But as in this world, there is a law which we call the law of entropy. Everything that is left, every system left to itself, is working towards chaos. And that also happens all around me. It also happens inside of me. So there has to be an influence from outside to change that and to switch it the other way around. That it's not going downwards anymore, but that it has to go upwards. And one of the first things in that, try to see yourself as you originally are. The song that was played, if you could see what I see, is telling us about that. God is seeing in us that beautiful being that I once was and that I will become again. But I won't become it by only thinking that I will become it. I will become as beautiful as before when I start working on myself, correcting myself every minute that you see that your eyes are seeing what you should not see, when your ears are hearing what you should not hear. You know, sometimes when people speak, I am here, people are outside speaking with one another, and I hear everything, And then sometimes people have the tendency to interfere in what other people are outside speaking amongst each other. That is out of my business. I have to be busy with myself. If people are talking, it's not my business. If it's something I should know, they will talk to me. They will tell me out of themselves. I don't have to keep my ear all the way where it shouldn't be and hear things that were not allowed for my ears to hear. So, working on myself is very, very important. And knowing who you are, that tiny point of living light making this body living, and who you belong to, that supreme energy, the supreme soul. We call him the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. Some people call him God. Some people think about the energy, the special, highest energy, whatever you call it. But there is something where I belong to. And that someone for us, someone is filled with all these beautiful things, the beautiful virtues, the powers, which make us ready to be there to serve others. Whatever we receive by trying to make that connection with that supreme being, however you want to call him, we call him Baba. And Baba means daddy. And whom would you call daddy? Only your father when you are in a position of love. When you're angry with your father, you won't say daddy, pa, or whatever. But daddy is that beautiful connection with him, which gives me the opportunity to be colored by his presence, by knowing that he's always there for me. Because company colors us. And so in me first also goes check in what company you are. Check. If people say, finally, she's leaving. Or that people say, finally, she's back. What is it? How is your relationship with all those around you? If you realize who you are, who you belong to, and who is the one who can color you with the most beautiful colors that you could ever imagine, then you try to seek the company of him and of those who are also seeking his company. Let's be honest. There is no one perfect in this world. We all make mistakes. I do. But when you make the mistake and someone is telling you about that mistake, how is your reaction? Am I trying to defend myself for what I've done and trying to make it seem okay? Or am I accepting it and say, all right, let me look inside myself. Let me see, what is it in me? Normally when things happen around us, that are not the way we would like it to be, the first thing I think is, what did I do wrong that made that happen? And if I honestly go deep, deep inside and say, no, honestly, I did not do anything wrong, then you know the problem is not yours, the problem is there, and accept them, because we all have our own world in which we live, inner world. We all have our own way of, of thinking, of looking at things. We all are so different, and that is so beautiful that we are different. When you look at others, accepting them the way they are, they feel safe. And you could know when people feel safe with you, when they come to you and they tell you stories about themselves which they will never tell anyone particular. Still, even when they share their beautiful stories with you, don't keep them here, because the stories of others will occupy your mind. And when it's full in there, there is no place to have your thoughts with the Supreme, with the Source, the one who can help us to become as beautiful as we were. So live your life in the midst of others, but never, ever let them influence you in becoming like them, different. Sometimes, when we hear about things, like there was a beautiful sharing about attachment last week. And some people think that attachment is necessary, but they mistake it. They think that love and attachment are the same, that you cannot love without having attachment. But if you have attachment, like Sister Rani was beautiful saying, it hurts when something happens to the other. How can I possibly be of any help if that hurt that one has gets inside of me and I feel hurt too, or sorrow, feeling like crying or whatever? I won't be able to help. When I work on myself, I work on love. And love is something, you cannot really describe. It's a feeling that comes from deep, deep inside, a feeling that makes you want the best for the other, but not breaking the best in you, not doing things to please them, but doing things and saying things because of the benefits, and don't interfere. I tried to raise my kids. I have two sons. I tried to raise them the best I can. They're now both grown up, and one of them has his own children. And when the children were very young, and we were sitting in the car together, going somewhere, I don't know where, and they were sitting in the back seat, and I was sitting in front next to him, and they were sitting in the back with their mother. And then at a certain point, for some reason, I don't know what happened, he used foul language, dirty language. And I looked at him and I said, you know, if you don't want your children to say these things, then you should stop saying these things when they're there, even though they're small. That was all I said, and I left it right there. Let him do with it what he wants to do with it. So at some points we may say, but don't try to get grip of it. Don't interfere in their life as if you know better. Try to be that role model. Try to be the one they can look up to and say, that's how I want to be. All the religious founders tried to show the people around them how they should live. What happened is the people started to put them on a pedestal, adore them for their good behavior and their good ways of being with others. But what God is teaching us is don't look up to them. Look at them. See their beauty and make it your own. Become like them. Become like the deities. Don't praise the deities. Look at them. Sometimes there is said, look at their faces. The faces of the deities are always smiling. Why is your face not always smiling? Look at them. You may praise them, but not praise to praise. Don't praise them to get from them. But look at them and see in what ways you can make yourself just as beautiful as they are. That is my role in creating a better world. If I start on myself, then others looking at me will also start on themselves. And then it will work like a snowball, like a ripple effect in the ocean or in a river when you throw a stone. It will go on and on and on. And many more will become role models. But just keep in your mind, it has to start with me. If I don't change, then who will? And never think, oh, there are others. They will change and people will look at them and they will also change. Take that responsibility in your own hands. I have to change first to be of benefit for myself and for the world. And one of the important things is what Rani has been talking about. Detach, but detach with love. A loving detachment is a detachment in where you make yourself strong so you are able to help them. And then slowly but surely, the world will become more and more filled with people who are thinking positive, people who are beautiful and charitable, people who have harmony with others and who bring unity in the whole group. Slowly, slowly, but we need to go on, and constantly check ourselves. What am I doing? And we will see the things that we do wrong because we're not perfect yet. We will see, oh, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done that. But first, forgive yourself for the mistake you made. And have the guts to say, I was wrong. I did the wrong thing. Never try to make what you did look good. It is because of this or that. That is why I did. No, we all do it. Let's stop. Because when we become full of all the virtues, all the powers, when we become God-like, as many scriptures say, human beings are created. I don't know how you say it in English. I know how to say it in Dutch. But okay, like the way God is and how he is. But that's in my hands. God doesn't put his hand on my head and said, all right, now you are as beautiful as I am, and you're as good as I am, and you've all my virtues. No. One of the things that touched me the most in this knowledge is that God says, heaven, paradise, is for everyone, comma, who works on itself to become worthy to go. And we're talking about cyclist processes, and people don't believe that things will repeat. But even in Christianity, they say that it started with paradise and that God promised that paradise will come again. Isn't that a cycle? But if heaven will come again, paradise will come again, because paradise, heaven is right here. We have to make it heaven. Hell is not down there. Hell is right here. We made it hell. So if we made it hell, who needs to clean up the mess? We have to. And in that, we need to make sure that we strongly know, we have the faith, the understanding that good is within us. And that we need to throw out all the rubbish to let the good come up again. And when the good comes up, we can share it. And we don't even have to speak one word. We just have to be loving, detached, having mercy, wanting to help people to get to their best stage. That is the role that we need to play. If I play that role of me first in this, then I will be a helper in changing the world into a better world. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Rita Ben. Welcome to Guyana. So happy to have you and to listen to such depth, such inspiring words. That comes from the change we made within ourselves. Thank you so much, and wonderful to see the whole Caribbean family together. Sister Nandi, you are not seeing me. Okay, you're not hearing? Nice to see
Yes,
you.
I heard you. I recognized your voice, but I was searching. Where is she?
Yes, so it is very, very good to see this wonderful Caribbean family together. Thank you so much. Thanks from the heart. Okay,
Thank
Om
you,
Shanti.
Baba, for giving me
Bye.
that opportunity. Thank you so much.
Shanti, Sister Rita.
Om Shanti.
Welcome to
Ishan.
Guyana.
Thank
Sister
you.
Rita, mamamahay ka.
Mom, that's baby.
Yes, Sister
Yeah.
Rita. You're
I
all part.
thank you. I have been
So,
to Guyana many times formally before my time in Curacao. In the beginning, when I was just a baby in Guyana, I came to Guyana many times, and I was there once when Daddy Prakashmani was there. I don't know what the occasion was, but they had stalls outside, many stalls, and then she made a round, and Brother Ivan had to leave. He had to do something, and he asked me, "Can you be in my stall?" So I stood there, and at that moment, Daddy came, and it was such a wonderful experience. When we have that close relationship. I remember the first Daddy I ever met was Daddy Ratan Mohini when she came in Suriname. And she was so humble, she was so inspiring. It's one of the daddies that was really became one of my role models long before Daddy Janki became it. Because I didn't know Daddy Janki that well. I knew she existed, and I know her role in London, but I didn't know her. But to get close to the daddies, and it was something very special.
don't worry, you did well. Your English was good. Don't worry with that.
Thank you.
Om Shanti,
Om
and a
Shanti.
very informative way of sharing. And it's all start with me. So in tonight's session, who would like to ask a question or feel free to share, please do so. Sister Rita is here. And then 7:15 to 7:20, we'll have in between 7:15 to 7:20, after sharing and questioning, we can have a meditation from Sister Rita. So please feel free. And I like how you said life is a choice. We have to choose. And then you said to see the beauty within the self. And you give a good example of seeing the deities, to keep smiling, see the powers, see the virtues within ourselves. So it will be reflecting on others. So we will see the others' beauty as well. So anyone would like to share or ask a question, how it all start within me. So please feel free to do so.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Sister Rita, thank you for that very insightful presentation. And I'm trying to see if how I can summarize, this very, very beautiful information that you've given us here tonight. I'm understanding. You had given us an example from one of Michael Jackson's songs previously, and what I reflected on was there is a saying that we need to be the change that we want to see. So you're saying it begins with us first. And I'm wondering if the concepts of self-esteem, building your self-esteem, building your self-worth, your self-confidence would be like synonyms for the same idea of me first. And the other thing is that recognizing ourselves as a soul and having communication with the Supreme Being, I think at some point I heard you say we can ask him to give us all those colors, and then maybe I
He gives
misunderstood.
us, he gives it freely. We don't have to ask.
Fine, okay. So using colors as a metaphor for how we can use that to then add value to others. I was going to, the question I guess is, what in reality are those colors? I am understanding it to be removing the vices and replacing it with those beautiful colors, which I am understanding to be the good values and virtues
Yes.
and all those qualities, which would then influence our behavior in how we relate, react, interact with others, and how we, add value to others after coming to that awareness. Am I right with my understanding?
Yes, yes, you're very right. But if we want to fill ourselves with all those beautiful things, with all those beautiful colors, we have to throw out all the darkness, all the vices, all the impure tendencies, traits that we collected in our journey from beautiful to ugly. And we have to go from ugly to beautiful once again.
Thank you very much. So it's really a journey of transformation.
Transformation, yes. And it starts with me.
Starts with me. Thank you so much, Sister Rita.
Thank you too.
Is there anyone else? Or feel free to put it into the chat as well.
It's important to see yourself in your most beautiful form and remember that you belong to the Supreme, that all of us belong to the Supreme. And if we want to reveal the Father, we have to become like Him, beautiful, peaceful, loving, detached. He gave us the chance to live, to enjoy the world. And He gives us the the chance to put right what we have been putting wrong. And things that are happening around us should not disturb us anymore if we know the only thing we need to do. I was looking at a small video from how do you call me? The place where they had the earthquake. The sister reading the Murli, and outside buildings are collapsing. Just that knowing that you're protected. God is with you. God loves all of us. And still we have our karmic accounts, which we have to settle. And we need those tests coming on our path to make us stronger and to make us mature. If they don't come, we don't know where we stand. We don't know where we need to change, where we need to explore more in how I can become what God wants me to become. So let's all promise ourselves to check ourselves in everything we do. What is the reason why I'm doing it? What's the reason why I'm saying it? Am I doing it at the right time? Am I using the right words? What is my intention? Is my intention to lift up others, or is my intention to show how much I know and how good I am? What is my intention? So live this world, live it, enjoy, but enjoy while feeling when I am happy, I can make others happy, because you can only share with others what you have inside of you. So first make yourself truly happy and content, and then you can share that, and people will know and people will feel. So let's promise ourselves that we will do our utmost to work on ourselves and become all better me's and create a better world.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Sister Rita. Tonight's session is part of our 50 year celebration in Guyana, as we will be celebrating this year.
Who?
You are also part of it.
Wow.
This year we are celebrating 50 years in
yes.
Guyana. So
Wonderful.
yeah. So
Congratulations.
it's all started with me. So with all of us, we are blessed to be hearing from you and looking forward further in the future. So we can start our meditation.
What is that sound? Okay. Sit
So we
relaxed.
can go into our meditation.
Yeah. Sit relaxed. And concentrate on your breathing. Let it go in and out, deeply but slowly. Fix your eyes on a point somewhere in front of you, doesn't matter where, and concentrate on that point. Breathing in and out, naturally and slowly. And then try to bring that point closer and closer and closer to yourself until it reaches the top of your nose. Concentrate on it. Your attention drawn away from everything around you. Then slowly move your attention within. From the point of your nose, bring your attention to the point in the center of the forehead. Feel the energy in this point. This is where I, the soul, sit. From where I rule this whole body, near to the brains, near to the ears, near to the eyes, near to the mouth. Feel the energy in this point. Create that experience that that point is radiating light as a star. Filling my head with pure light. And bring your attention to the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. And imagine yourself being colored by His light. Let that light flow into you and into your body. Then bring the light further down, filling your neck, your shoulders, your upper arms, your elbows, your underarms, your pulse, your palms, your fingers, and feel the tinkling in your fingertips. Bring the light further down, your breast, your back, your hips, your belly, your thighs, your upper legs, your knees, your underlegs, your ankles, your feet, your toes. Feel the tinkling in your toes. Whole body filled the purest light of all, God's light. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel the energy in your whole body, your palms, your soles, your feet. And then slowly bring the energy up again from your toes, through your feet, ankles, your knees, your upper legs, your toes, thighs, your body, your belly, your back, chest, and your fingertips, the palms of your hand, your arms, your shoulders. Bring the light back to that point in the center of the forehead. Feel the light shining, sparkling. And then from here, send it out to the world. Like a lighthouse, spread it all around you. Fill the room where you're sitting with this pure godly light that is filled with love. Fill the whole building. Fill the whole neighborhood. Spread it out to the whole city. whole country, spread it out to the whole world. Light, love, peace, purity, of spiritual inner power. Everything that I receive from God, He's giving me to share with the world. Share this beautiful feeling of love with the whole world. I, the soul, am a beautiful being of light. Filled with virtues, filled with love. I am an eternal child of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. I am beautiful. I'm filled with all these godly qualities. I only need to bring them up again. Bringing them up in my consciousness means changing my personality, changing from taking to sharing. I'm a giver. I'm a messenger of all God's wishes, pure feelings, God's love. Slowly, very slowly, bring your attention back to the point in the center in the forehead, back to your physical body. Become aware of your surroundings and feel the energy that surrounds you. I, the soul, am a powerful soul, peaceful soul, loveful soul. That's what I've always been, what I will always be. Eternally a child of the Supreme. And in this awareness, bring your thoughts back to the here and now. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Thank you very much for that inspiring meditation. We are full with all God's power and ready to make a better world.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Om
And Om Shanti,
Shanti.
everyone. See you all next
I
week
sing this
for
song
another session.
Yes.
not to you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
I sing this song not to you, but for you. Because I know this is the truth of who we all are. Take these words in.